Hey everybody, welcome back to the FoundryCast. It's Cyrus.
And I'm Zach.
And we wanted to clue you into a very special behind-the-scenes episode. And honestly, kind of the idea where the FoundryCast began was that this was all supposed to be behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's evolved a bit in ways that we really enjoy to talk about things that we're interested in and maybe
kind
open
of
up
traditional podcast style these days. But that was always the intention, was to get more behind the scenes of what we were doing.
What's going on with the Foundry website in particular, and then our individual channels, because for us, the Foundry website was supposed to be the hub where everything came together.
Yes.
So it may be difficult to go to Zach's 9to5 Gamer YouTube page and then get to my content. That's virtually impossible unless he just pimps the crap out of me.
You gotta follow several links to get there.
You do, and click on this and click on that, and YouTube is unwieldy in that regard.
Right.
So, if anything, the YouTube channel may bring you to the webpage where you'll find the blogs and the podcast and everything else.
Right.
So, a little behind the scenes, so forgive us. There's going to be some candy wrappers jostling, some clicking of the mouse.
This is especially behind the scenes. We're sitting at my desk, actually, where I do editing and stuff and recording. So, like Cyrus said, you're going to hear my mouse clicking away as we're moving around and doing stuff. You'll hear
some beer
glasses
sipping,
clanking, and bottles being opened and scribbling and all that stuff. Makes it more authentic, I guess. Whatever, who cares? But this is behind the scenes, and this is going to be like straight up. We're just going to be strategic planning. You're going to hear the way that we work together.
For part of it, we're still kind of planning out the next episode.
Yeah.
We wanted to meet up tonight to plan out a few other things for our individual channels and for Twitch streaming, because that's something that you've jumped on like full bore.
Yes.
I've been working it out and enjoying
the
bit that I have been able to do. I lost my train of thought.
That's okay. Yeah. So I think what I would say as a way of an intro to this episode is this tonight. I hope this discussion that we're going to have is going to be driving at the core of what you were talking about, about creating a cohesive experience. Because I think, we'll talk about it, but I think that's what we can try and do a better job of reaching here tonight. And I've got some ideas. Hopefully you do too.
And let me also address kind of maybe part of what our operating mindset was, that part of our joy in this, doing the podcast, is just a lot of fun. Enjoy doing that, putting it together. It's something that I think, even when I make a good video or if I have a good Twitch stream, when the podcast comes up, I listen to every second of it.
Yeah.
Some episodes I've listened to twice, and I am the least vainglorious person. I really don't enjoy the sound of my own voice, but I like the content that we put out.
Yeah, it's fun to go back. What's especially fun for me is if we record and then for various reasons it's like a week and a half after that I'm actually able to get the editing done. It's really fun to go back and listen to it again, because I've forgotten half the stuff, especially because I drink a lot. And so like halfway through the show, so like to go back and listen to all the stuff again is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's always been kind of the unifying force of everything. Yeah. But I really enjoy putting everything together through the website, because I think when we put effort into it, real effort into it, we put out some really cool content. Yeah. And there are people doing similar types of things, but there's nobody doing exactly what we're doing.
Right.
And part of it was we want to create something, whether it be physical or digital.
Yeah.
Part of crafting, creating, building. Part of it's playing games to a lesser extent, but it's
commenting and creating and that. Commenting on stuff, but also I will say I've been really excited just by streaming. It's helping me get back to physically creating. Which I did a little bit of the other day, and I've got set up here to be able to do a lot more.
And I'm planning on this weekend painting some minis.
Yeah.
The only thing that held me back, and it's funny behind the scenes because I alluded to it in my previous Twitch stream, is that I got a spray paint that was supposed to be 2x coverage black, matte finish.
Right.
So you only need to do a little bit and it gets you good coverage. It was glossy, and it was also, it never cured. So it was sticky and would come right off like it was a very old can of paint or something. Yeah. So I have 3 figures that were almost ruined that I almost have to just gently paint over the top of.
Yeah, fix them again.
but I can't handle them as the same way, and I don't know how well the paint's going to adhere to that.
Yeah.
So I'm having to either go and spend $10 on a few more
Yeah.
Reaper Minis, or just do some other ones that were not the... Because I've tried to get the most basic-looking village person.
Uh-huh.
As an easy, like, okay, she's wearing a green dress, and then we need black, brown, white, and flesh colors, and we're done.
Yeah, you don't need much. You can bust that out fast.
Instead, it's like, okay, here's Holy Warrior. I'm like, okay, so I need all different types of metals for his armor.
Yeah.
So I think the creation part was something we really wanted to do. And then eventually have other people giving to the website, creating, becoming part of the FoundryCast, I think, is kind of where the nickname of the Foundry podcast sort of evolved in our minds, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's gonna, and again, I think it's gonna evolve more tonight as we go through what we're gonna talk about. But yeah, I think we're in a good position. We've got some plans. We're hoping to move forward with maybe involving some other people and reaching out a little bit more. I'd like to see a bigger focus on creation in general, and I think we can achieve that soon.
Yeah, we have some friends who are brilliant. We have some friends of friends who are even more brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I wouldn't say we're in the negotiation phases quite yet, but we're definitely talking to some people that have excited us. Even RG Jerry, the couple of contributions we've got on the FoundryCast, I absolutely adored.
He makes some cool videos.
He does, and his wife is an amazing editor. Yeah. So the two of them together are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, they do beautiful stuff.
Love to see more of that kind of thing from them too.
But yeah, well, let's get at it. Let's get started. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about, I want to talk about to you, is the website itself. We've been struggling along up to this point with a really unwieldy, crappy address because it's free, and it's what has it been? The Wix site.org.edu.
And you know,
a bunch of dots and slashes.
We just jumped into that the way we did Podbean because it was easy, free, or at least very inexpensive. To test it out. And I think Wix, as a hosting site, is not the most versatile, but for what we do, there's some good customization.
It gives us a lot of flexibility in the way we want it to look, and I think some of the changes we can look at doing are going to improve, because I was thinking about this today. So what we want to do is we want to upgrade. We want to go to their premium service, where we're actually going to pay, but we're going to get some stuff for it. One of the things is going to be a web address, a normal www.something.com kind of address. But I was thinking about this today also. The tier I'm looking at using, I also advertise unlimited bandwidth. Because this is something I've always noticed. The site is really slow. Because it's free, cheapo, they're not going to give us a lot of bandwidth. When we go unlimited bandwidth, even upgraded bandwidth, the site's going to load a lot faster. And that's going to feel really good. I think just in general.
And quick clicking.
Exactly, because it feels really clunky when you go on.
Do you think that would help us in our uploading processes as well? Because that's been a little tricky sometimes.
Uploading to the site? It should. I mean, they're going to give us more storage, which is nice. But yeah, it should hopefully speed things up uploading a little bit too.
But most of our stuff, the only thing that's really stored truly on the site is like the blogs and the pictures.
Yeah, blogs and pictures,
So the videos and things, that just goes
they're
right
just
through.
links. So that shouldn't be too bad. So we're going to get a good domain. We'll get rid of the Wix ad, it'll make it look a little slicker.
What is the ad voucher deal going on?
Yeah, so apparently we're going to be able to get some money to put into ads for our site on other stuff. We'll see. I don't know how exactly that's going to work.
Cool.
Basically, like into Google and stuff like that, you can get your. That's the other thing is I think it's all their premium services. You get listed you're now searchable in Google,
right?
Which is, I guess, nice. But
it could be if someone comes across the YouTube page, and then
they
forgets about it. Hey, these are the guys on the Foundry. Let me check them out, and would actually show up.
Yeah. So the main thing I think. Or the bandwidth is going to be nice. The main thing is going to be having our own domain name.
Yes.
And that's what we need to come to tonight, because the unfortunate reality of it is that the Foundry is not an uncommon name. The Foundry.com exists. Foundry.com exists. The Foundry.org exists. The Foundry.net exists. All of these things are taken.
Can we be like the Foundry.dude?
.biz?
Foundry.schmo?
I looked, you know what I actually looked at? Was the Foundry.craft. Because I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned
it doesn't
about
exist.
That.
Though.
It does already?
No, it does not. No, the dot craft
craft
end piece doesn't exist, or if it does, somebody else ends it. Because that's the other thing with Wix is they only have certain things that they can give you. We can go out and buy one and use our Wix site with it, but we'd have to go out and it's a pain in the
another day, another dollar.
But I was also thinking, even if we're looking at like those unusual suffixes like .info or something, I really would rather have .com. Because for people, .com is just your
if it was something like .craft,
yes, exactly, that would be
cool. We couldn't turn away something as on the nose as that.
Right. But without .info or something, which we could get, doesn't.
.biz,
it doesn't sound good.
Cheap.
We're not a business.
No,
we're a non-collective. We're a collective anarcho-syndicalist commune or whatever. So I like the idea of going with .com. So that means we're no longer the Foundry.com. The FoundryCast.com is available.
Now, and you mentioned this to me before.
Yeah.
And I had some reservations because the Foundry was the original.
Yeah,
the
that
plan.
was the original name.
Because we were going over and over and over the idea of what our thing should be called.
Yeah,
right now it's really fashionable to be Geek and Sundry.
Yeah.
Like all these sort of old terms that aren't getting used much anymore.
Right.
Or the imagery of building, crafting, smelting.
Yeah, that image of like pouring molten metal in a dark factory like stuck with me. And I was like, we went for weeks like talking about coming up with different names. We went all kinds of crazy stuff.
Forge, didn't we play with a name?
Yeah,
like
Forge,
that?
all that stuff. There's a lot of Forge stuff out there, nerd stuff. But I kept like coming back to that, like driving along and just being like, the Foundry. I love that. It sounds good. It's taken, but it sounds good. But it is taken. It's really common.
Yeah.
The FoundryCast name, not just the website itself, the name, that phrase is not common. It's not used a lot. It's not out there. So my proposal is that we basically rebrand. We switch everything from the Foundry to the FoundryCast. And initially I was like, oh, well that makes it just into a podcast. Mm-hmm. But then I was also thinking FoundryCast, when you casting metal, it's kind of a cute thing. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm kind of okay with that. And so then if we're talking about, hey guys, we're the FoundryCast, this is our podcast for the FoundryCast. These are our FoundryCast friends. These are our casters.
FoundryCast. Oh, casters?
Yeah, whatever we would call, like, these are our fellow casters on the FoundryCast.
We ran into like a cute nickname, like
was that
the Believers for Justin Bieber.
Good Lord, no.
Well, every follower, the Geek and Sundry, the Critical Role, they're the critters.
Okay.
All the people who love Critical Role, they're the critters. So,
well, they always say you should never give yourself your own nickname. So I'm not trying to do that here. No, but I'm saying, like, if we refer to ourselves or our friends who are creating for it, this is a fellow caster for the FoundryCast.
Yeah. Okay.
That was what I'm thinking about. You and I are the founders, and the rest of the casters.
Okay. I don't want to. Then again, just to spoil the end of the story, is that the ultimate goal would be that we produce and other people are the ones creating.
Yeah. We just sit back and cash checks.
Hey, send me your video and I'll edit it, and then you send me 25%.
Nah, screw that. I've gotten used to making video. I enjoy it now. I wouldn't want to go back.
It's fun.
But yeah, I don't know. I want to get your opinion on that. Do you think you'd be okay with that?
I'm not 100%, but I'm definitely not opposed. Mm. The only hang-up I had was that, are we changing enough of what the original idea was?
Well, so I don't want to change the idea.
I don't think we are.
I don't want to change the original idea at all.
Well, the name came from that, but I think it's close enough.
Yeah.
Kind of kissing cousins close enough. Where it's not wrong. It's not off. We will have to get new cards made.
That's okay. The cards I had made were not really expensive.
I still love those.
They are beautiful.
We need to get like
the new. Oh, I'm gonna make nice ones when we have everything settled.
The thing that I wanted.
Metallic and yeah.
For that red to just pop
shine.
That dark blood shiny.
That's what I want to have.
Okay, if you haven't already, you should have seen the Foundry logo.
Yeah.
It is pretty cool.
It's awesome.
We had someone make that for us.
Yeah, good friend of ours, Matt. Thanks, Matt.
And it goes right along. Yeah, Matt came up with this. simple, but it's elegant and it works.
Yeah. He and I went through a lot of revisions on this and talked a lot about it until we laid down something. It's, like you said, it's simple, but it's really
good
classy.
choice in the font. It's
Looks
strong,
yeah.
but it has a little bit of a technical look to it without being like a drafted letters.
Yeah.
And then the gear in it kind
Super
of fits
simple.
to everything.
But the FoundryCast logo, and that's the other thing.
Right.
We want to switch to that logo, which is
I kind of think we should.
the gear plus the RSS feed coming off of it.
I kind of do.
And I like making that permanently the logo, because the gear by itself is cool, but it's kind of like, oh, it's a gear.
It's a gear.
Whereas the gear with the RSS feed coming off of it is like, oh, look at that's
it feels like
unique.
a logo, and it tells. I mean, because the RSS isn't just RSS; it's also it's a broadcast. It's like an antenna.
Yeah, we're broadcasting out to the world,
and what was really cool about it, and looking at it here, is
we've got them side by
that
side.
the interior of the gear, that circle of the gear, matches up perfectly with the circle.
I worked with Matt for a while to make sure that lined up and everything.
That was just really cool, and then the waves coming off of it. So it has something to do with us building, and us,
but also projecting that building out.
Yeah. Publishing, broadcasting what it is that we're making.
Plus, I do like the fact that the FoundryCast, the cast is red
and the
in the logo, and I like that contrasting.
This
color.
may be a total bastardization. Should the gear portion be white? Or would that be too much?
We looked at that. Actually, I might have old copies of the logos when I was working with Matt to create it. Well, he created it. I was just giving input. When we were working on it, I think we did some versions of that with like different colors in the logo. I felt like this was the strongest. I feel like the logo's red, the text is white with a little bit of red if we want. I don't know. To me, I liked keeping it that simple two-tone kind of thing, or single tone in this case, just that one shade.
I was wanting to maybe see it, but
in the end,
I think it's going to make that it's going to be too clowny because it's got the white and red and the white and the red. It's going to be too,
it's be too busy
with the logo. If it was by itself, it might be okay, but that dark, rich red can be washed out by too much white.
Right. Yeah. Too many color changes, I think, is too much. I'm not opposed to it, but I had seen this, like I said, I'd seen it in the past, and I wasn't. I preferred the all red, personally. Let me pull it up, and we'll see logos. I don't know if I still have that or not.
So, and for those listening while he's looking, what's interesting is that the Foundry is the V is the small letters over the word Foundry. Everything's capsed out, so you don't have to worry about the size of the letters. And then Cast is in the same deep, rich, kind of blood, almost red. It's darker. It's getting close to maroon, almost. Almost purpley.
Yeah, I was going for like the glow of heat of forged metal kind of thing. Yeah.
Like metal as it's cooling.
We use a lot of orange on our site too, which I kind of feel like is our extra tertiary color to the white and the red.
It's like the high school, you got the two colors, and then you got the one accent
the extra
color.
one, the accent.
Until you do whatever weird game it is where...
The alternate uniform?
And it's just your accent color. It's like, why are they doing this? I think because Appalachian State now has, like, navy blue as one of their accent colors. Like,
okay.
You guys are yellow and gold with white. And there was this weird blue uniform. It didn't make sense to me. Anyways.
I don't think that I have the old versions. I was looking, but I don't think I do anymore. I apologize.
I do think we also need to make... what do you think about the thumbnail that we use for the podcast itself, the FoundryCast? Because it's a different...
Yeah, I'd rather switch it to this. It should be this.
Okay.
Which is what we use on the Podbean itself. But it doesn't work on here. I would prefer this, or even...
And by this, he means the logo itself.
The main logo. Just the gear, RSS gear. We need a name for that.
I would say this is the Foundry icon as opposed to the FoundryCast icon.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, the FoundryCast
icon can be strong on its own.
Let me jump back in here.
Branding 101, children.
I wish I were better at it.
I wish I did. That would be really cool to go to school for advertising because you learn a lot of the kind of crap that they come up with.
No, yeah.
Okay, so here's another question.
I would use this with the cast drop down.
Instead of side by side?
No, I'm sorry. Just specifically for this.
Oh, for that.
On the website. For the icon on the website would be this entire logo there on black, rather than just the symbol.
So is our logo generally going to be with FoundryCast side by side? Long-wise?
I think it looks classier here.
Because if you drop down cast below Foundry, you're going to have to make the icon bigger. I think so. It's the same height as all the words.
Yes.
Because there you have a weird... It almost looks like a key. It's kind of bulbous here, and then it drops down in jagged forms, and then extends out to the side.
So you're saying you'd rather use this for this?
No, I'm saying we need to use this for almost everything.
And then use this when space is an issue.
When space is an issue, because otherwise, if this became the way it goes, I don't know if I like the color.
Right.
And then this would have to be bigger.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's kind of...
The icon would have to be bigger.
That's why I had this portion with the cast drop down made, was for space issue things. Sure. But that was always kind of my vision for the main logo.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So... I think that's a pretty strong...
You good with that?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like we're moving on in a way, but I think we're moving on a smart way.
It's it's evolving, I think.
Because a lot of what we're doing is already kind of the FoundryCast. The podcast, the FoundryCast.
Yeah.
The YouTube, the Facebook page is the FoundryCast.
Right. And that's, again, because the Foundry was taken on Facebook. The Foundry was taken on Gmail. The Foundry was taken on everything. The FoundryCast is not taken on anything. So when we set up all this stuff, it's much, much easier. By the way, you can send comments and questions to our email at thefoundrycast@gmail.com.
Hey, be the first to send a question to foundrycast@gmail.com.
Please do. Yeah, hit us up. I check it like once a month. No, I'm just kidding. I need to put that on my phone, actually, so it pops up all the time. But anyway, I think that, again, that's the strength of it, going with the FoundryCast.
Do we have any other concerns, though? It seems like everything can be adjusted.
Yes.
And we're going to officially, starting 8 p.m.
I will make the purchase of the name and the name on the website. The web address is going to change prior to that. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, the official rollout will happen tomorrow.
So we can roll out this podcast.
Right, it'll go out.
And then we can have the Facebook page.
Yeah.
I mean, have an announcement with the Podbean link and blah, 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 blah. And then that evening as well, once I get in the door, I can add that to the FoundryCast website itself, and we can
we can adjust all that. Actually, we can.
The two of us.
What we can do is you can even do it tonight. We can do it tonight and set it to automatically update the website tomorrow.
That's true.
Too.
That's true.
Too, but which we'll get to, because I want to show you some stuff I was looking at on the website as well. But first, I'm going to get another beer. Do you need another beer?
I need another
Your
beer.
glass is empty. Let me get beers. What do you want?
What do we have?
I don't know. Let's go see. Let's go see together.
I wish we could take the microphone with us.
So yeah, we're back with beer now. With more beer, I should say, because we need beer to plan.
Well, and we usually drink sessionable kind of stuff anyways.
Try to. Most of the time.
But then we end up having all this heavy stuff that once we get into it, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I only need one glass of that maple mocha bacon stout.
Yeah, something to sip on all night.
Slowly.
Yeah, I'd rather do the session stuff and build that buzz, gradually. So yeah. Well, it sounds like we're in agreement on the change of the name.
I think that also means we need to look at, because I made stickers for fun. I thought that would be kind of cute.
I like the stickers.
I can make some more.
Yeah, I don't think the other thing about the FoundryCast, the old Foundry logo, we can still use it once in a while if we need to. I mean, we could pop it up and have it be involved in other things if need be. But yeah. So let me see. Let me pull up the site.
I'm talking about getting more cards too. And that way. And what's cool is now we will have a much shorter website.
Yeah. Well, it'll be a little bit shorter. It's going to be a lot more. It'll make more sense. It'd be easier to say FoundryCast.com.
Yeah.
Rather than
FoundryCast.com.
Number of letters is actually still pretty long, but
is it really?
It's not as long, but it's still for a website. It's not www.a.com. It's not a super short one, but
the www.thefoundrycast.com.
Right.
That's short.
It's good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no //
Yeah.
home garbage.
.home/Xray alpha at. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was the website itself. I was just thinking about it more as we want to try and focus more on driving people to the site and having it be kind of the hub. I want to put something here at the top, because right now when you go to the site, it's blog posts and then some stuff on the side.
Well, and for the audience listening, the top is the kind of toolbar banner.
Right, there's the banner with the logo, and then there's the toolbar with the clickable pages. And then directly below that is blog posts. And then to the right of that is a bar that has like what the Foundry is and some links. What I want to try and do is almost move kind of the what the Foundry is kind of deal into this. I want there to be a splash page here of some, like I don't know how to explain, like an orienting piece.
Would a person who goes to that give a crap?
I don't know.
Because I'm imagining I am Joe Blow Gamer.
Yeah.
I caught you playing Doom.
Right.
Ultimate.
Yeah.
And you say, go to thefoundrycast.com to see more. I want to go and get caught
the stuff
on
down here.
Something cool that we have to
Right.
hook them to see more of you playing Doom. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's a way we can better have that section explain what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think I go to... I'm trying to think. I don't go to hardly any more websites that...
Yeah.
I used to go to, was it joecartoon.com, and I didn't want to know what Joe Cartoon did. I want to see his new cartoons. So I don't know.
Let me look at like... No, not like that, because that's not a good example. I don't know. I'm thinking about like something that's going to have a blurb about what we are.
Yeah.
But also maybe like on your stream in the corner, you have that where it flips pictures.
Yeah.
Almost something like that even. Like a thing that's just flipping pictures of stuff we've done.
Yeah, okay.
Or something like that. Just like a central piece that's like, this little bit this is our manifesto. And then jump down below that.
I love the idea. How much real estate are we going to commit to this on the front page?
Yeah, nothing more than what I've got. I've laid out a couple of little boxes just to kind of space it out and think about
from before the toolbar. Look at the banner and look at that. That's 50. Where you were?
Well, back here.
Yeah, that's 50%, almost maybe 45% of the latitude.
Up and down.
Up and down.
Sure. Yeah.
Up and down.
Yeah.
Longitude. The frattest attitude.
Yeah.
How much of it we give to these banners as opposed to bringing our content to the top.
Right.
That's my only concern.
But I'm just thinking about, say you go to this, splash onto this page, it says this is what a new visitor to the site would see. Mm-hmm. You look at this and it's just like, oh, there's stuff, and then there's posts, and I don't know if it feels like not oriented enough. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to leaving it the way it is. I was just thinking about like
anything that will get them hooked. Anything that someone could look at and go, I know more about these people. I understand what's happening here. Like that FoundryCast, if you click on that again, because this is before the FoundryCast is what it's called.
Right, then we had the FoundryCast there.
And how much space we're using, and then you're having to look more than halfway down the page to see the thing we want them to click on.
Yeah.
The thing we want them to visit.
But I'm saying that if you just come to this without context, are you going to click on it? Like, is it too confusing to figure out what's going on?
Because we have the titles for each thing. If you said, come see what I've got, then already I click on... I first time I'm going there, I click FoundryCast episode, Battle of the Month, Extended Edition.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
If I want to go to a podcast, then I see it's a podcast... Okay, I'm not interested in listening to this right now.
Right.
I backed there and then
Boss Battles. What is that about?
And it's a blog.
Oh, it's a blog.
Okay.
These pictures.
Maybe I want to read this, maybe I don't. So having things that may catch their attention higher up, I'm not 100% sold on putting more information for them to read.
Just looking at the layout we have already, we've got this sidebar over here. What about expanding, making this a little bit more prominent? At least the top part of that. So the upper right is your oriented material.
The intro part about what we are, what
we are, and
make it clearer. I think we need to look at the color format because I love the saturation of color, but how hard it is to read sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I like picking, I like trying to keep with the theme of like fire and forging, but
so we just may need to clean that up a bit, make that bigger. almost twice the space that we have as opposed to recent posts, because recent posts are what's already
That's
there.
true. The recent post, I didn't even think about that, but the recent post doesn't need to be there at all.
Upcoming events can be bigger.
Yeah, we could, but we also need something to actually put there. I realize that we still have Dragon Con last year listed.
We keep going back there in our minds.
So, it's true, but we need to figure out. I want to use that. I'd like to use that space, but we need to actually have some stuff there.
Well, and until we can officially say what the upcoming events are, then maybe more of that follow the Foundry with the Facebook and the Twitters.
Yeah, put that up there and
all that good stuff.
Okay, well, I'll work on that a little bit more later. Then I'll try and make Gussie this side up, but leave this where it is. Mm-hmm. Okay, good with that. Okay, so yeah, the other thing I wanted to talk with you about and start at least planning. I don't know if we'll make any decisions about it tonight. I've just been thinking about. So you and I have had some success lately with streaming. We've gotten a few people saying hello, and I've had a couple people. I've talked with a couple people online. That was nice. We've had some more hits from our Foundry Facebook. Mm-hmm. Next to that, we've had some more Twitter stuff. So my concern right now is getting too piecemeal with everything. So as we start now, we've got streams. We've got two streams. We've got two YouTubes. We've got a website. We've got a Facebook group.
Yes.
Plus Podbean. A podcast Podbean. Plus
each of our individual Twitters.
Twitter, two different Twitters, plus a Foundry Twitter. Two Instagrams, plus a Foundry Instagram. Yeah. So what I'm thinking is, should we try and streamline? Should we try and combine more into Foundry?
Of course. The question that I have there is, what goes where? Because the Foundry has kind of been the hub for all of it. It's been it's been the name of the company. Yeah. And the website and the podcast are the umbrella for everything. If we were to draw, like a genealogical diagram.
Yeah, it's
the predecessor
home branch or whatever.
That creating a solitary YouTube channel could help alleviate it. However, would we, with what I do typically and what you do typically, be two sides of a brain that doesn't speak the same language through the medium of YouTube?
Say that somebody comes to the channel expecting to see video games, they see miniatures.
Using hot glue.
Yeah.
Now there's a pair of brothers. I can't remember their name right now, but they're not twins, but they're damn near. And each of them does the next video, and so they go, "Hey, brother," and then they start talking about Disney princesses that should have been that aren't princesses.
Okay.
And then, but what they each do. And Mulan's technically a princess.
No, she's not a princess.
I think she is.
Mulan's not a princess.
I think she is.
She's not, though.
I think she is as far as Disney's concerned.
But she's counted as one, but she's not in the movie. Yeah, maybe in the sequel she marries a prince or something.
As far as Disney's concerned, there are like 3 criteria.
Okay.
One is you have to be born a princess.
But she isn't.
Or be a princess by the end of the movie.
But she isn't.
Or you have to do a major act of heroism.
Okay, she does that.
And then you have to be the major character in the first movie.
Okay.
So she counts. She had a major character-defining act of heroism.
Okay, fair enough.
Heroism. And so there are other characters who have gotten left behind. I can't think of the list right now.
Don't worry about it.
Vanellope.
What? You made that up?
No. The little girl from Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, I haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph. I've still not seen Wreck-It Ralph.
You will enjoy it.
Yeah, I know I will, and I don't know why I haven't seen it. But
she had, I guess, act of bravery, race car driving.
Is that a Disney movie? Wreck-It Ralph? I thought
Disney.
It's not. That's right. It's not Pixar. It's just straight up Disney. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So anyways,
away
from that,
yeah.
The two guys who do these videos, but they're like the same voice almost, and I am not beyond the idea of it, but if you have lightsaber tutorials, and I'm using hot glue on miniatures, they're kind of related, but I don't know if someone is really going to subscribe because of what I'm doing if they like what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they see my video come up, they're like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
He is Cyrus from the Foundry. So do we need a Foundry YouTube? But is that another stream
Well, that's the problem. Is are we spreading ourselves out again? I'm just trying to look here at the way that YouTube, and I'm not great with YouTube, but I know I've seen other people who have set it up a certain way to where you're collating on a single channel other channels' products.
Yes.
For example, no, not these guys. Red Letter Media, a couple of their guys do pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Which is its own separate channel you can see here. But if you go to the Red Letter Media, it's there. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, plus the rest of their stuff is their main channel, but this one is separate. So I think that we can set it up, and I need to look into this more, but I think that we can create a FoundryCast, because we got to remember to call it FoundryCast.
Yeah.
FoundryCast YouTube. That every time you and I upload to our own separate channel, it's going to also be here. And then anytime we do videos, we're just going to send them to the FoundryCast. Mm-hmm. We say, check us out on the FoundryCast at YouTube.
Right. Yeah, you can see, and then you can kind of diversify if you want to.
And then if you're watching, if you click on, they're clicking on all your videos, they're going to realize, oh, this is actually just Crafty Bastard, I'm just going to follow him. Mm-hmm. Would you be okay with that?
I definitely would.
Okay.
I just imagine, I have people occasionally that I subscribed to a year ago, and now they're doing something different. Now they're just doing, Counter-Strike.
Yeah, they play
one
the
of
same
those
game
games,
over
and that's cool, but that's not what I follow you for in the first place.
Yeah,
so then I just end up unsubscribing. And I would hate for it to be the case where you did a really awesome Doom stream that you uploaded that was funny and engaging, and then I'm drawing stuff on a piece of paper, and it's not exactly the same.
They unsubscribe from me.
Unsubscribe for you, or from us.
I think the impetus would be on us to put in enough content initially, but also update content regularly enough.
Right.
To where at least every couple of days, new video, new video, new video, new video.
That's tough.
And it is
especially
incredibly tough.
When we're already splitting our focus with streaming, because that's something I really want to get up and running.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. But, again, streaming, the nice thing about streaming is editing is easier with streaming, because you just take that stream and upload it, or you can just cut it into 20-minute chunks, and now you've got 6 videos.
Yeah.
Pop. Every couple of days you're popping one up.
Right.
So I think we could look at doing that. The other thing is that YouTube has a streaming service.
It does.
I don't think that they do. I think it's just gaming right now, though.
No. They do live hangouts. I don't know if it's called hangouts, but I've watched all manner of people doing live Q&As.
Okay.
Maybe less about gaming.
I just thought about this because yesterday or the day before I just happened to be home, and Penny Arcade was doing one of their where they play a game for a few minutes and try it out, and it popped up on YouTube as, hey, this is live, and then you go to it and you can watch it live on YouTube, but then it's also on I saw it on Twitch,
right,
and they were streaming on Twitch, but then they were also streaming on YouTube at the same time. And I'm just thinking if we could start doing that too, to where every time you or I stream, it's also on the Foundry stream on YouTube.
Right.
So that we're now collating our streams together too on YouTube. But then also in our main, it's still broken down into channels. So I think we can combine forces a little bit better on YouTube that way. I'm going to look into it more, but I think that's possible.
Because on Twitch now they have the ability to. I don't remember what it's called, but basically host someone else's
so
stream.
I auto-host you now. Yeah. So anytime you host, it appears on my channel.
And I need to figure. I can host immediately, but I haven't figured out a way to auto-host.
There's just a little button you have to find.
And I gotta say, the Twitch layout, they need to figure that it is.
It's still a little messy.
You have to go through 3 different steps to find one thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Reminds me of like a point of sale system at a restaurant. One of the most is like a 2-touch. It should be you hit one button and then you hit another button. So you have to have everything layered out in such a smart way that you're not hitting button after button to find one thing.
Then hitting back 4 times to go to find something else. Yeah.
Or home, you're like, put a freaking home button here.
Yeah. So I think on Twitch specifically, we can look at doing more of this kind of stuff, like trying to brand ourselves on the bottom of your Twitch channel. You can put little bricks that have pictures and stuff in them. I think we could do a better job also of that. I mean, I'm not going to get rid of 9 to 5 Gamer, but I'm maybe add Foundry in here as well, so that like try and integrate that FoundryCast into.
Well, and I kind of like the idea of what I kind of started it, and you made it look better. Is 9 to 5 Gamer proud member of the FoundryCast?
Yes, yeah, that was a good touch.
So it's something subtle even at the bottom as a different tool. Like, hey,
so I think we can keep doing that. And then combine stuff on YouTube a little bit better. I like the idea of just like pushing everything, because that's what I'm saying. The more we do, the further we reach, the more we risk getting scattered. And I really want to try and push and focus back together so that everything is driven back to either the website or the Facebook group, because those seem to be the best.
Well, and to be honest, I think that's a good idea, and I think that could help us. However, How many I mean, you're up to 6 followers
on what?
On Twitch?
Yeah, 6 or 7.
But you've had more than that see you. But you've had 6 or 7 people following you, which is for as new as you are. Some people like really digging it.
Yeah, I've got a few people watching, and it's been these guys. I've got 3 folks that are big at Doom,
and what's cool about that is. They could follow you, and maybe what happens if they auto-host you, and maybe they get one other person. Mm-hmm. Those 3 guys are probably not going to come over to Crafty B Gamer on Twitch.
Maybe not.
Not yet. But out of every 100 you get,
exactly,
5 come over.
Yeah.
And out of every 100 I get, 5 or 10 come over to you. So I think that we're going to leech off each other in a good way, no matter what. And that's part of what the Foundry is there to do, is to say, hey, if you like what he's doing, here's something tangentially related.
Yeah, we're a network.
We have some similarities. If you like what he does, you'll probably like part of what I do.
Stay tuned for this, yeah.
And then we'll have more collaborative stuff. And I think that's the biggest thing that we're missing.
I think, that's what I was thinking. That's why I was trying to push so hard. Yesterday, I did it for a little while. I streamed. I deleted the clip because I didn't like it, but I was streaming some crafting stuff. So that's what I want to try and do, is start crafting just as much as I'm playing games. And if you can start playing games once in a while in addition to crafting.
If my computer can handle it.
Even just, something simple, Trove or something, something.
If my computer can handle it, I will do it.
You never know.
In a second.
But that's what I'm thinking about. Or us streaming together, because that's another stream that we need to do sooner rather than later.
Here's what we need to do. You help me get my Minecraft up and running.
Uh-huh.
They just put out a new texture pack.
Okay.
Where you can make cement. So that the wool color, like the wool has gotten, it's almost like they took the pixels and squeezed them in a little bit more.
Yeah.
So that pattern of wool isn't quite so big. It seems softer.
Okay.
And then you can use, I don't know if it's dye or what, to make cement that is like the pure color.
Oh.
White, black, the blackest of blacks.
Nice.
And now they have terracotta, which have designs. And depending on which way you point the block.
Okay.
You can get some interesting designs.
A lot more decoration.
I think it might be time that we work on a joint build through Minecraft.
We can do that.
And even if I can get my Minecraft up and running, that would be so much fun.
Yep.
And then we could have other people that want to join us.
Sure. Have the FoundryCast
tell
server.
them what the server is.
Sure.
And we can go even onto the place that I know those guys.
Yeah.
With its protections and everything. And it runs 24/7, and it runs pretty smoothly, and there's like nobody on there right now, so we have the runner place.
Yeah.
And I could buy some property, and then I've got so many assets.
Yeah.
So
you have a
much.
ton of land out there.
I've been hoarding on that website for like 5 years.
Yeah.
As long as my stuff hasn't been ganked.
No, it hasn't.
And I want to check that again tonight if you could.
Sure.
See if my stuff is still...
I was on there, 2 months ago, and it was all good.
It's like every month if you don't log in. So like every 2-3 weeks I'm still trying to log in.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's reading me.
Okay.
But
no, if we could do more of that, more, like you said, more collaborative stuff, if I can leech into your because the Foundry, and that's what I'm talking about, I want to get back to crafting and creating as much. I mean, I love playing games, and that's part of what I do, but like I want to get back to that creation side of things and try and do more of that streaming and video as well. So if we can do that, if we can keep pushing that way, I think it's going to be good.
So the TLDR version, the too long didn't read version, is we are definitely going to in less than 24 hours,
Yes.
have a new branding. I mean, it's an evolution of what we've already done.
It's a official choice, I would say, between the two brands.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
And so from now on, we will be the FoundryCast.
We're the FoundryCast.
Which I think is going to be pretty awesome.
I'm good with that.
We're going to do a little bit of the back-end stuff so that everything looks good and sharp. I think we're going to try to enhance what our footprint looks like.
Yeah,
so
try
if
and
someone happens to
collate
go...
a little better. And
Yeah, because so far it's been kind of piecemeal where we're trying to come up with things and see what looks good, what sticks.
And that works fine when nobody's watching and nobody's listening, but now I feel like this is the time when we're actually starting to reach out. We're actually starting to get more and more folks paying attention.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but we're getting some folks paying attention. Now's the time we need to really, polish.
And do you mind if I propose a challenge to anyone who's listening?
Go ahead.
For the few of you who have been stalwart companions of ours from the beginning,
Thank you for listening.
Truly appreciate you listening. You don't know how much it means. Like to challenge you to see any ideas that you have to push us to the next level.
Absolutely.
If you see tweets of ours that you like, especially from the Foundry, that you want to retweet, if you can think of something creative, the more creative the better, because that's part of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And would like to see what you can come up with and what you can provide. And we would like to find some special way to thank you for that.
We'll definitely find something. I've got actually a couple of craft intro projects that I'm going to be making some props that are going to be just for something for me to make that are not going to mean anything to me, but they might mean something to somebody else. It might be a cool gift. So, yeah, there might be something cool in your future if you want to help us out, give us some feedback.
And I think that would kind of be a fun thing in the future that I really wouldn't mind on my YouTube channel doing giveaways. Because if I'm making more terrain, I'm going to make more terrain than I know
then you
to do
need
with.
to use, or you use it once for one game and then you're done with it.
Like,
so.
hey, follow me, and I've got however many followers, and if this video gets to a very small number of likes, then I will randomly choose one of those people who subscribed and liked, and then I'll send you this, 1 foot by 1 foot piece of terrain.
Bit of terrain.
That you could throw into any game where you need some castles or some ruins, or... I've been working on water features lately that I think are pretty cool. I didn't show you.
The poured resin that's looks like.
Yeah, and I used a technique to using acetone that's in nail polish to melt the foam.
Right.
It's a very cool look. Very simple.
It is very cool. You showed me some of that.
And I'd like to do sort of a video on how that works too.
Cool.
So, big things coming, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I guess we'll do a little wrap up. Like you kind of gave us the summary of what we talked about today. This has been a kind of a special bonus episode that if you're listening to it, it just went up Saturday night. But thank you for joining us, and stay tuned because the next episode of the FoundryCast, the full-on podcast, will be coming at you real soon.
Thank you for listening. As always, I'm Cyrus.
And I'm Zach. You guys have a good night.
From the FoundryCast.
From the FoundryCast officially.